Welcome back to Kroenkes Arsenal podcast. Welcome back, people. My name is Kroenkes. We're gonna discuss a couple of stories around Arsenal, especially Josh Kroenke. He's been with the Arsenal Fan Forum. We are also going to discuss that 120 million promise and the 120 million government loan. So make sure you've subscribed, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and of course you can tell me what you think about these stories. It really means a lot. Your comments keep the channel moving, and the likes keep the channel moving as well. We're gonna talk about a couple of issues. First and foremost, remember in January we took a government loan with no interest. It was 120 million, and we thought it was going to really fund transfers in January because the club was drowning, but the money was literally to help in the day-to-day running of the club, basically because of it was a COVID-19 relief fund. The club could get it and repay it without interest, so the club and the Kroenkes have paid that money. We are going to discuss that. Josh Kroenke has also been with the fans in the fan forum, and of course, like they do, they have promised again. He's promised a couple of things: meeting regularly with the fans, and also providing funds for the Arsenal transfer window that is coming in the next 2 months. So a lot to discuss. Do you think we will spend money? That is the question in for this video. Do you think Arsenal will spend money in the summer? My answer to that I'll give you after I discuss these stories. So make sure you're hitting the like button, people. It really means a lot, and thanks everybody for always tuning in. It also means a lot. So let us start with a report from Asblog, one of those very popular Arsenal blogs that I do follow, and they're saying that Arsenal repay 120 million loan. Arsenal have repaid their 120 million loan to the Bank of England after making use of the COVID-19 corporation financing facility to provide liquidity during the pandemic. Now, the Gunners met the criteria for the loan in January and decided to take advantage of the scheme to help offset COVID hit broadcast and match day revenue streams. While we couldn't use the money to buy new players during the last transfer windows, it looks like though we did use some cash to pay off high-profile departures, including Squadron Mustafi and Socrates Papastapolis. The low interest on the loan, reportedly about 600,000 in total, made the terms particularly attractive, even though we knew it was going to be paid off by May. That's really okay. How did we repay? That's not entirely clear at this point. Either KSE stuck their hands down into their sofa and paid it off with some per square change, or the Athletic reports we've taken out another loan from elsewhere, presumably, or on less favorable terms. CCF loans have been provided to a variety of businesses in the last year, with Spurs, Boots, and EasyJet all getting involved. So we've paid back the government loan, 120 million. We took it in January. You still remember I did report about this story, and there's a lot of excitement way back in January because we thought this was money that's gonna help us do things like transfers, bring in new players and things like that. Of course, it was 120 million, so it was huge money. But at the end of the day, we didn't sign in anyone on a permanent deal in January. What we did use for the money for, though, was to pay off some departures, the likes of Squadron Mustafi, the likes of Socrates Papastapolis, the likes of Messi Ozil. All those players were paid and they left the club after we got that 120 million pounds. So I think we used it very well, and now we've paid it. Now, what is unclear at this point is whether the Kroenkes have put money into into the project of repaying the debt, or there are also reports, according to the Athletic, that we have actually taken out another loan to pay this loan, and that loan is on less favorable terms. Now, of course, that is Arsenal, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't be so surprised if stories came out, the next day, tomorrow, and they said Arsenal have taken out an uglier loan with uglier terms to pay the government loan, and I don't expect a lot of money in the summer. We're gonna discuss that because Josh Kroenke has been talking about that and with the fans and everything. I don't expect a lot of money in the summer because, first and foremost, this is what I was looking at. We had to pay that 120 million pounds in May, remember, and we've not had we have not had fans back in the stadiums for the rest of the season, for the whole season. So it really makes a lot of sense if we do not spend a lot of money in the summer. So we have paid off that loan. For me, it doesn't change anything. Actually, it makes our situation for the summer even worse. First and foremost, if the club has paid that money on its own, it means we shall not be able to sustain ourselves in the summer. It means we shall have to kneel at the feet of the Kroenkes to give us money to spend in the summer, something that they are never gonna do. Especially by the fact that we made them lose the European Super League. That was big money, very, very big money. So making the Kroenkes lose Super League money, you don't expect them to be so merciful, generous to give you whatever you ask for. So I highly doubt that they have paid this debt. I think it is from the club. It is money from the club. If not that, then the truth is, as per Athletic, if rumors are to be believed and reports are to be believed, then it means we have taken out another loan on less favorable terms to pay off the 120 million pounds. Because, like I said, the Kroenkes at this point in time, you don't expect a lot of support from them. All they wanted was to take this club to the European Super League. That was their goal. At the moment, if you have decided to take bread out of their mouth, you don't expect them to get a piece of bread and then fix it in your teeth. It wouldn't actually make sense, especially according to the business model they run. But it's still, for me, it's twofold. First and foremost, we needed to pay the debt. It makes us, it reduces the debt burden on the shoulders of the club, and that makes a lot of sense. But that means we have spent 120 million in May. The summer is coming in July. The transfer window opens in July. We have spent 120 million on repaying a debt in May. We are gonna have financial constraints. That's what, for me, that is what it means. Because the moment, I think this is gonna be a very beautiful excuse for the Kroenkes and Arsenal and the board. We didn't spend much because we spent 120 million repaying a debt. Who doesn't know about that? I think it really works out, in terms of the Kroenkes and them looking for an excuse, and it is really something that doesn't really sit well for the fans. But okay, let's talk about the Kroenkes and their promise to invest some money in Arsenal this summer. That is something that we need to talk about in this video. I've talked about it before, and I think I'm gonna just re-echo, or just echo. I'm going to echo my thoughts on the Kroenkes. Backing Mikel Arteta, spending money this summer. Unless you're deluded, but if you're not deluded, then it's not gonna happen. The conditions around the club at the moment, they don't look so much. They don't look so favorable. I don't see Arsenal as a club that is in favorable terms, amicable terms with their finances to spend a lot of money. But anyway, all we have to do is look at what happened. So according to football.london, they're saying Josh Kroenke makes big promise to Arsenal supporters after appearance at fans forum. That's according to football.london, so you can check out the story. They're saying that Josh Kroenke was in attendance at the Arsenal's fan forum, which took place on Friday afternoon. The Gunners called their supporters groups around the world together for a virtual meeting to discuss the club's plans for engagement. It comes after thousands of Arsenal fans gathered outside the Emirates Stadium to protest against Kroenkes and their ownership. And when Josh Kroenke was in this meeting, one of the things that really happened was a lot of pointing fingers. I think, and he took the criticism, and I really loved it with him. I really loved him for it. Not because I love the Kroenkes, but at times you've got to take in the criticism because you're in the wrong place. And he took up the criticism. All the people pointing fingers at him, he decided to agree. He decided to say, you know what, we are wrong. It's time, it's high time we decided to take the blame. Now, in some of the things he talked about, first and foremost, he said he was going to meet the fans on a regular basis. I think that was an excuse, trying to reduce that pressure from the fans. Also the other thing was Arsenal are gonna invest in the summer, and that is where I want us to discuss Arsenal splashing some money in the summer from the Kroenkes in terms of transfers, something that we have to talk about. So particularly, I've said this before, we need around 4 or 5 players in this summer. We need to recruit 4 or 5 players in the summer. I mean, as priority areas, as priority signings, there are 5. So if there is any luxury, then probably we could see Arsenal sign around 8 to 9 players, which is never going to happen. So I've summed up Arsenal's summer, and I said that would cost around 150 million. If you still remember, I said Arsenal need to spend around 150 million in the summer. Now, Josh Kroenke, speaking to the fans, said, you know what, there's a lot of pressure. We did we agree we did wrong going into the European Super League and everything. We are gonna invest now. We're gonna invest in the summer, and I've seen so many people are very, very interested. You've seen reports of Jack Grealish now being reportedly on the Arsenal radar. I've seen so many Arsenal fans not really deluded, but happy. And should I call it happy? I've seen so many Arsenal fans, become happy for the fact that the club is gonna be, investing in the summer. And what do we have to do? We've got to be happy. We've got to be excited, because Josh Kroenke already says, be excited. But the question for me is, when is this gonna end? Since 2011, the club has always been feeding on empty promises. We are gonna invest, be excited, trust the process, and things like that. I think every summer Arsenal is promised almost £100 million, but I don't remember a summer when Arsenal spent that much, because most of the money we spend is from the club, and we know that Arsenal is a club that funds its own transfers. We're a club that actually does its own business. So in terms of buying players, in terms of bringing in players, it is Arsenal working on its own. It is not the Kroenkes. The Kroenkes have nothing to do with Arsenal buying players. At least apart from Thomas Partey, the rest of the players, it has been Arsenal money. Now we find ourselves in a very difficult situation at the moment. The club doesn't have revenue. That's it. Fans are not in the stadium. TV revenue is scarce, and we need to use it, in the day-to-day running of the club. The Kroenkes are battling out with, the withdrawal fees from the Super League. So it's a very difficult, financial situation for Arsenal. I don't know whether many fans understand this. I don't know whether you have looked around and tried to understand how difficult it must be for Arsenal in this summer. It's going to be very difficult. The Kroenkes, despite the fact that they do not want to invest, at this point in time, they have paid withdrawal fees from the Super League. That's already enough. That was a lot of money, and it is courtesy of their problem. It's their problem. It's not our problem. We didn't call for it. We didn't cause it. The other problem is we have paid 120 million government loan back in May. So I don't expect us to spend around 300 million or 250 million within a space of 3 months. That is something that we might not see happen as well. And of course, lastly, the fact that we have always had no money ever since Kroenke bought the club. So it's not going to be an easy summer. One of the things, one of the ways we can bail ourselves out is the hard way. One, probably we could take a loan as a club. I don't know how possible is that. We could maybe fundraise as funds for the transfer. I don't know whether that is acceptable, but according to the financial fair play rule, you have to earn as you have to earn. You have to spend as much as you earn. So unless the rule is lifted, there is no way Arsenal is gonna make money off fundraising from fans. So it looks like the only way Arsenal will raise money in the summer is by Stan Kroenke doing us a favor to invest, to inject money, and he's not the happiest man. I'm telling you, he's not the happiest man. I told you, if we are going into the European Super League, he would give us the money. I'm so confident he would give us the money. But at the moment, someone wants to buy the club, then he has to pay money to from KSE to the Super League. Then you have the government loans. Now there are rumors that the loan is actually become more complicated. He still has to pay off the Emirates Stadium and that loan. So it is a lot. It is a lot for the Kroenkes, and they have never been true to their word. They've never come out and proven to us that they wanna invest. They will invest. It doesn't really make a lot of sense for anyone to say Arsenal is gonna invest money at this point in time when we are not in the European Super League, we are not in the Champions League, we are not in the Europa League, we are not in the Conference League, and then someone says, and then we say we are gonna buy Grealish. I mean, for what? The squad we have can play the Premier League alone, and we go through it. So there's a lot around this club. There is a lot around this club, and I don't think Kroenke is gonna invest. I don't think this is our summer. Arteta said this is gonna be a very big, unprecedented summer. Edward said that as well, and the likes of Josh Kroenke have said that as well. But in terms of being unprecedented, I don't see that happen. Maybe if we say it's gonna be unprecedented because it's a summer we are not gonna sign anyone. Maybe it's gonna be unprecedented because we're gonna drive out Deadwood. Maybe, but apart from selling players to raise revenue, I don't see how Arsenal is gonna raise all that money to buy the likes of Bissouma, Buendia, and everyone. So anyway, the Kroenkes are saying they're gonna give us the money. We wait and see. That's it. Let me see what you people are saying in the chat. Hope they keep the promise. That is Stella. Leah says Jack Grealish, one good left back, and then Max Aarons. Timo says hi from UG. Dennis says those people are liars. I think this is not new. This is something that we are used to now. The Kroenkes have always played on the minds of the fans all the time. I think all their strategies now we know. That's the good thing. They're gonna sign in a manager, they'll scapegoat the manager, and they'll sack the manager. That is what they do. That is their business model. And I told you they copied that from the Walmarts from America. So they're never gonna keep their word. They're saying, and there's so many deluded Arsenal fans who always tell me, Kosi, this is gonna be a big summer, and that's why people are dreaming of the likes of big transfers, 80 million, transfers. It is easy on paper. Grealish, Aarons, and a left back, a backup left back. It's easy on paper, but practically it was easy last summer, because last summer it was a matter of sorting out the midfield issues and then and signing a centre back. That's it. We signed in a centre back and one midfielder, and the summer closed up. We had 3 good months to deal with transfers, and we decided to do transfers at the last minute. So that's when they tell you deal ABCD failed on the last day, and then I'm asking myself, what happened to the 90 days we had to deal with these transfers? What happened to the 60 days? What happened to the last 30 days when clubs were doing business? Chelsea signed almost 9 players, almost a whole squad within 90 days, and we failed to do 3 transfers, 3 sensible transfers. So the Kroenkes are never gonna keep their word. They want to bail themselves out. At this point in time, they are a dying man. When you're a dying man, you're gonna say whatever there is to save your neck. So I think what they're doing is trying to save the neck. They know they have rejected the bid from Daniel Ek. That is a positive for them. What they have to do now is try to calm the fans, because they know Daniel Ek minus the force from the fans equals a failed takeover. So all they want to do is try to make a failed takeover, and I think they will succeed by rejecting the bid in the first place. If Daniel Ek doesn't make a second bid, if he goes away, Arsenal is back in the mud. That's it. So I expect a lot of speculation, especially from media, fed by the Kroenkes. They're gonna spread propaganda. We're gonna invest. We are looking at 100 million. They're gonna link us with the likes of Grealish. They're gonna link us with the likes of Emi Buendia. We're gonna get excited. And for me, the only way I can see how Arsenal fans are excited is the rate at which you people watch transfer videos. I follow so many channels, and I can see the number of views on almost every channel has doubled, and that shows you how, I want to say deluded, but how, well, I should say how innocent Arsenal fans are. I don't know whether you're innocent, but that shows you how innocent we are. We are there to believe. One of the things I've been talking to my friends, and I said, one of the things that I've seen is many Arsenal bloggers said, we're not going to buy any Arsenal merchandise anymore. Let us boycott Arsenal merchandise so that we affect the Kroenkes financially. As soon as the new kit came out, how many bloggers don't have it? How many? So if you're an influencer and you're telling someone, let us affect the Kroenkes financially by not buying Adidas products, and then you buy the kit the next day, and then you show off how smart you are, it only shows you that we are not strong as a fan base. I don't want to attack our fan base, because it's ridiculous. Attacking our fan base, but it's a weak fan base. That's the truth. We will never be the likes of Liverpool. We will never be the likes of Borussia Dortmund. We will never be the likes of Bayern in terms of a fan base. And I think this has gradually affected Arsenal as a club. Whenever you have a weak fan base, a fan base that doesn't demand for more, a fan base that has been out of the Champions League for 5 consecutive years, and now a fan base that is fighting to go to the Conference League. How can I say we have a chance to go to the Conference League? I can never say that. I will not say it. I will do a match preview today, and I will speak about Mikel Arteta's press conference and a couple of other things. I'll never talk about that Arsenal is going in the Conference League, because it doesn't make sense for me. It will never make sense for me. Never Arsenal playing in the Conference League. We would rather not qualify. No, that is not our position. We are not Conference League level. That's the truth. So I will never be excited to play in the Conference League. But whether we are in the Conference League, where we are not, it doesn't matter to the Kroenkes, and that's it. It has never mattered. It will never matter. That's it. We've got to agree to that. Stella saying, hope they keep their promise. The truth is, they will not. Leo, you said Grealish, a left back, and Max Aarons. Wow, that would be a transfer that I would rate out of 10. I would rate it at 6 out of 10. It's never gonna happen, that. Timo says, we are now getting used to losing, bro. And that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, that the fan base has become used to that level. We have reduced our ambitions to that level. Can we make it to the Conference League? I mean, our goal is to finish above Spurs. That's all. We are no longer the level of United. We are no longer the level of Chelsea. We are no longer the level of Liverpool. It's like the moment Arsenal finish above Spurs, and I don't want us to finish above Spurs. That's the truth. I mean, this season we should pay for what we have done this season. I mean, I don't want us to get things luckily, finish above Spurs miraculously, and then go to the Conference League through the back door. No. Let Arsenal be out of Europe. Let Arsenal finish below Spurs. That is how our season has been. So the fans are affected. I don't know how you cheer. I don't know how you cheer your team in the Europa. In the UEFA Conference League. I mean, it's ridiculous. So ridiculous. I mean, it's like playing below the championship. That's it. Because the clubs there, you're gonna verse the likes of Grasshoppers, the likes of FC Thorn, the likes of. We can't. We need competitions with competition. We don't need competitions for the sake, and it will be ridiculous that Arsenal will never win the Conference League. So to avoid further embarrassment, let us stay out of that league as well. Kenneth says, Kosi, me I have a problem with the Teta. Our players are excellent on loan. That means coach is not good enough to exploit. You might say our players are excellent on loan. I know you're talking about Matteo Guendouzi. You're talking about Jose Willock. You're talking about. I know what you mean. I know what you mean when you say our players are excellent on loan. But truth is, Willock is not Arsenal quality. What he's doing for Newcastle is not good enough for Arsenal. That's the truth. Saliba, there is a big question there, a very big question. And Dino's Mavropanes, there's a very big question why they're not getting chances, because these are players that have not gotten a chance. The likes of Guendouzi, those ones have gotten a chance. I mean, the likes of Sid Kolasinac, ever since he signed for Arsenal, those ones have gotten the chance. But the likes of Saliba, the likes of Dinos, those ones we have not seen them. And I really blame Mikel Arteta for the likes of William Saliba. How can we have a player saving Nice this season, yet we are drowning? I mean, it didn't make a lot of sense for me. It really didn't make a lot of sense. Questioning Mikel Arteta's ability, we have always done that. At least for that we have done. For that match, we have done. Arteta's ability and his progress as a coach. Have we made any progress under Arteta? Answer is no. Should he be the manager for the project? We even don't know I even don't understand what project we are running at the moment, because on the pitch there is no project. In terms of transfers, there is no project. So I don't know what Arsenal mean when they say they have a project going on at the moment, because I don't see any project for Arsenal going on at the moment. Bernard, how are you doing, bro? I said Kroenke administration and the Teta should leave Arsenal so that we can have peace and get back to normal. I would love to see, personally, an Arsenal with a new manager, a new ownership. You know what? At times I blame Usmanov. I blame Usmanov because he shouldn't. He shouldn't have sold those shares to Stan Kroenke. Not in any point in time. Not at any rate should he have ever sold those shares to Stan Kroenke. He should have never done that. Because he has put us in a very difficult situation. Even if it is Aliko Dangote, even if it's Daniel Ek, whoever will want to buy this club will face a very, very hard time from the Kroenkes. So I don't want to blame Usmanov a lot, but I do blame him. Yeah, I do blame him. He should have done better than that. But anyway, that is the Arsenal we support. Regardless, we roll. Calvin says, my hope is Grealish to sign for Arsenal, my team. I don't know. You people are very optimistic. That's the word. There is someone who has used the word naive. I don't want to use the word naive. We are not naive. We know what we are doing. But let me tell you people. When a club like Arsenal looks at a player like Jack Grealish, it's only normal. And that's the truth. A club with 13 titles of the Premier League, a club that has made it to the Champions League finals in 2006, a club that has made it to the Europa League finals twice in its history, 2000 and 2018. It's only normal. I mean, we're a big club. We can ask for Grealish. We can ask for whoever player we want. But realistically, if you think about what Arsenal should be doing, and I think I don't know whoever is running Arsenal transfers is making a big mistake. What we should be doing at the moment is we should have signed Grealish 3 years ago or 4 years ago when he was 20 or 18. We should have signed Emi Buendia 5 years ago when he was 20. We should have signed the likes of Kalidou Koulibaly 8 years ago or 10 years ago when they were young. I think our transfer model has been Arsenal go down, to the roots. They recruit young players, and then after some point in time, our players become superb. The likes of Song, the likes of Chess Fabregas, the likes of I'm forgetting, the likes of Theo Walcott, the likes of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the likes. That is how we have been doing our business. The likes of Van Persie, the likes of Thierry Henry. If you look at our legends, we don't have a Rio Ferdinand, who is a record breaker in terms of the price tag. We don't have a Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of price tags. But we've been doing well, and ever since we started buying expensive players, we are not doing well. Don't you ask yourself questions like, why are we spending more money now and doing worse? The reason is our recruitment has become poor. I've told you, I spoke about it today, and I said there's no way you're gonna spend one. You're gonna buy one player worth 60 million and then spend 3 years without buying another. Doesn't make sense. You'd rather spend 10 million on 5 players and then build a project. At the moment, I don't see any project around Arsenal. I don't see it. But Grealish, you people like Grealish, and I promise anything that happens with Arsenal and Grealish, I'll let you know. At the moment, I'm not part of the deal. Not really part of the deal. GK, how are you doing? Says, now, that's not how development works. Getting them young. But again, if you want to develop fast, you don't get them young. Like Chelsea, you don't get them young. But Arsenal is never gonna do the Chelsea business model. So what do? What you do is get them young and develop them across a period of 5 years. We've seen clubs like Benfica. They do that. The likes of Dortmund. I mean, the level of progress and success of Borussia Dortmund in the last 5 years is ahead of Arsenal. But Dortmund will never sign a 50 million player. I mean, if I think about it, one of their most expensive buys has been Henrik Mkhitaryan. I think they are trying to desperately replace Mario Götze. Yeah, I think. Then we think about the likes of Jude Bellingham. And Bellingham is a 35 million buy, or who's eventually going to be a 90 million sell. So that is so prudent from Dortmund. The likes of Erling Haaland, I think 16 million. So I mean, if you ask any Arsenal fan, how many players would you take from Borussia Dortmund? You're gonna say Toganaza. You're gonna name Erling Haaland. You'll name Jadon Sancho. You'll name Jude Bellingham. You'll name Gio Reyna. You'll name the likes of Matt Hummels. I wouldn't take their goalkeeper. He's one of the worst in world football. You would name. I would also take Rafa Guerrero, a left back. I don't think he's so much ahead of Tierney, but they're almost at the same level. So you can see that in terms of squad depth, in terms of what their squad has in terms of quality, they're better than us. But they're not spending a lot of money, and they're not buying old players. They're buying these players while they're young. I think we should do the Dortmund way. We should go the Dortmund way. We don't have the money to compete with City, but we can use the back door. The back door is sign Alexander Song. All of us are proud of Song. All of us are proud of Cesc Fabregas. All of us are proud of Van Persie. These players didn't sign when they're 25. They signed when they're 19, 20, 21. When they're young, we should make use of the German Bundesliga, the Australian Bundesliga, the Portuguese League, the Brazilian League. I think we should. That's what we should do. The truth is, rather than living in a dream, you'd rather face reality and coin a way to go through it. I know you'll want Grealish, but you've got to agree, you people, we are never gonna sign Grealish. Okay, so truth be told, you would rather live the bitter reality than keep on fantasizing and fantasizing and fantasizing and fantasizing. JK says Arsenal haven't developed a quality player for near a decade. We are just now seeing youth players come through. Well, what I mean is not really getting players at the age of 8, 10. No, that's what that is. Wow, which club does that business model? Well, that is. I mean, unless we are relegated, I would recommend that. But what I'm saying is, can we go back to days where we could storm the Alamansi Academy and get out with players like Cesc Fabregas? Because we had, we signed Samuel Nasri at £1 million. Was it even euros or pounds? One like this, and he scored on his debut, and he never went back. We sold him for some good money, if you still remember. We got him from Marseille, and I still remember on his debut, it was 1-0, and he was the goal scorer in that game. So maybe that deal, maybe that model works better for us. Maybe. I'm only saying maybe because football has changed as well. To compete, you've got to invest. If you don't invest, you can't compete. So it's not easy, is it? Okay. Look, when Aaron Ramsey, Wilshere came through, they flopped. This is what I don't really think Wilshere flopped. I don't think Ramsey flopped. I mean, you might think they flopped, but I don't think they flopped. I think the problem with Aaron Ramsey was he was never gonna be a star. That's it. And there are those kind of players that are never going to be a star. They're never going to be stars. Not everyone in the team is going to become a star. He promised a lot, and I think he reached his ceiling before all of us realized that he has reached there. For Jack Wilshere, it was the injuries. Let us play the ball fair. It was the injuries for Wilshere. It was never about the player individually. It was the injuries that affected him as a player, and in the end, he couldn't become the player he wanted to be, the player he was. I don't want to say he was meant to be, because I couldn't coin his future, and I didn't say it. But I think the prospect in him didn't come out, courtesy of injuries, discipline, and the likes of things like smoking, and those things. When you are an English international who has a lot of talent, the media lifting you high, and the moment you lose your way, the media lets you fall down, and they'll step on you. So I think in terms of flopping, you talk about the likes of Jose Willock, the likes of Nketiah. I'll understand. Those are players that have actually come out, but the likes of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I still believe when we had the Ox, when we had Wilshere, when we had Ramsey, we were better. We were not finishing 8th. We were not finishing 9th. Maybe that is the Arsenal we want to go back to. The Arsenal that qualifies for Champions League for 20 consecutive years. That's the Arsenal we want. I mean, why would we have Aubameyang, Lacazette, Partey, Leno, a squad that looks so good on paper? With the record breaker, 76 million Nicola Pepe, and we are finishing 9th. I would rather have the Theo Walcotts of this world, the Alex Iwobis of this world, and then we go to the Champions League, and then Bayern kills us, right? Still looking at some of your comments. I think Ken will go to Chelsea. What do you think? Well, the Hurricane situation is very, very, very blurry. Very blurry. First and foremost, I didn't expect him to leave Spurs in this season. I didn't expect him, but he's gonna leave. Will he go to Chelsea? Chelsea need a striker. That's the fact. Timo Werner has been a nuisance this season. Tammy Abraham, I don't think he has the quality to lead that Chelsea side. Olivier Giroud as well is a finished article. I think he's done with football. He needs to go to America as well. Chelsea need Ken. They have the money to sign Ken. Will he go to Chelsea? If Chelsea fail to get Haaland, I think they'll do everything possible to get Ken. But I think the first priority for Chelsea will be Erling Haaland. And they're going to get frustrated because I think what Dortmund are going to do in this summer, they'll sell Sancho and then sell Haaland in the next summer. So I still have a feeling Manchester United will get Ken. I don't know. I'm just used to this fact that United signs players from Spurs, the likes of Carrick, the likes of Babatov. I still have that feeling. But I won't be surprised if Ken goes to City. But I still feel United have an upper hand in signing him if they want him. But will Spurs want to sell within the league? They might want to go international. So probably the likes of Madrid if they have the money. Chelsea need a striker, but I think they'll first go for Erling Haaland. As a Chelsea fan, I know you want him, but as an Arsenal fan, I know we can never sign Harry Kane, isn't it? JK says we need Finnish articles, not all these stopgaps and second-tier players. It all goes back to, can you afford the Finnish articles? That I mean that is the problem we have had for the past 10 years. We've been linked with Benzema, and we signed Olivier Giroud. We've been linked with Gonzalo Higuain, and we've signed the likes of Chamak. We've been linked with the likes of we were lucky we signed Ozo, but we're linked with the likes of Angel Di Maria, and we had, eventually we had to sign the likes. We had to have the likes of Iwobi playing on our wings and the York. So it's better we settle and understand our club. I think that will make a lot of sense. Though I understand when you say the club needs Finnish articles, because that is the easier way to go back to greatness. You understand? I do understand. What are you saying? We shouldn't just what? Splash what? And we shouldn't just be splashing if the criteria of player isn't in the market. Premier fans entitled. I'm thinking with a poor man's mindset, spend. This is really funny. If there is only one player in the market that meets the criteria in the window, I'm fine with that. One signing, spending 200 million every summer is delusional. That's why the elite clubs win everything. Let me show this. Let me put this comment on the screen. Spending 200 million on one player every summer. That's why the big clubs win everything. PSG in the last years, they have bought Mbappe from Monaco at a very very high price. They bought Neymar as well, the likes of Angel Di Maria, the likes of Marco Verratti. Okay, Bayern have also been spending a lot. That's the truth. They've been spending a lot, especially from buying players from rival clubs. Chelsea, City. Okay, yeah, you make a lot of sense. I was gonna disagree with you, but I'm looking at how these big clubs, the giants, have been spending money, and it makes some sense. If you spend 200 million, actually, I think to fix Arsenal you need 400 million, just 400 million. I mean, is it just all? It depends on the perspective, in your perspective, but I think 400 million you could correct Arsenal. That's the truth. 400 million, just 400 million, you could correct Arsenal. I'm gonna have to end it at this. Thanks everybody for tuning in. You've been a very great audience, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Hit the like button as well. It makes a lot, and thanks for the comments. See you.